Hello, everyone. Welcome to Love and Hips TV. We are back in the building. Yes, we are so glad.
I'm so glad.
Yes, to be back in the studio and not be at home.
Yes, I'm tired of being quarantined. Time to get cute.
We just can't breathe on each other.
Oh, I know it. Right?
Look, don't touch me.
No, we got our little mask and stuff over here. We got our mask ready, so we ain't quite 6 feet apart, but we making it do what it do.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it's good to be back at the studio. What's everybody been up to in this quarantine
Cooking,
life that we've been living?
Eating, sleeping, drinking.
Not necessarily in that order, just
Lord,
all the time.
homeschooling. What else we don't do?
Learning how to do nails.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I'm coming over your house.
Oh, Lord, you done did your own nails, girl.
Sure did.
Well, go ahead. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, Russian dog, get your nails done.
That's right.
I'm
not going to show up in front of Kim Berry and have my nails
Oh, Kim, look at her. Well, Kim, I love you, but my nails ain't done, girl. But it's okay.
Because I don't get mine done, so that's not one of my things. But anyway, we are going to be talking to Miss Kim Berry, the personal hairstylist for Prince for 29 years.
Woo!
She is with us today, and
we are going to be talking.
We got the queen in the building.
Yes, honey.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, we are so glad to have you. So glad to talk to you, and we're going to be talking all things Prince and Kim with you and see what you got to tell us.
Okay. Well, first things first, let's talk about this here volume 1 of Diamonds and Curls.
We're just gonna jump right on into it then, huh?
Let's not miss this. This is why we're here. Diamonds and Curls volume 1. And actually my website is under construction. It'll be up tomorrow, but it's www.diamonds.curls.com, Diamonds and Curls. And you can go there, or you can go straight to Amazon and you can type in Kim Berry or type in Diamonds and Curls, and you can get the book there.
What?
Well, all right, we're gonna get into some more detail about
you gotta
the
be
book.
quiet.
Talk about live
girl.
TV.
I know we quarantined. Everybody in the house together, girl. Mama and everybody. There you go. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta make it do what it do.
Yeah. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I was telling everything that the fans get a kick out of, that this is a volume of 3. So Prince's numbers were 3121. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay, Kim. Go. We live. That's what live TV is all about. Go ahead, handle it.
She done got up.
Right. But why Kim taking care of her mama? Because this is real live quarantine TV. We want to give a shout out to Jazztopia for checking in. Yeah. Hi, Jazzy. Look, hey, Gary, Carolyn. Y'all make sure y'all call in and talk to Kim. I know she's trying to make sure she get Mom Dukes together.
470-251-4647. So if you guys have any questions, this is going to be a long show. So, if you guys have any questions for Kim, even throughout the show, make sure you call in.
Right.
Or if you want to comment, we're watching, so we can answer comments as well.
I'm trying to figure out how to share the feed. How do I share the feed? I have to wait till it's over?
No, you should be able to, at the bottom, it should say share. Are you on Facebook? You sharing it from Facebook?
No, I'm on Zoom. What you got?
Oh, you have
yeah, you can't share it on Zoom.
You can't share it on Zoom.
Yeah.
You have to go to
go to
Facebook. Just went to your page.
Yes, go to Love and Hips.
Yes.
Do you guys want me to switch over now?
No. You can just
Okay.
you can just share it after
Yeah,
from
you
your
can share it
page.
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting us, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you was telling us about the book.
So let me go back. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So Diamonds and Curls, Prince's numbers were 3121. Well, 3121 added up to the number 7, which is the number of completion in God, which a lot of people didn't know why he chose those numbers. But, you know, he did everything on purpose with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So this book will be 3 volumes about one diamond, and I'm the curl. So he's the diamond, I'm the curl. So
Oh, okay.
and each book has 7 chapters in it. So 7 times 3 is 21.
Oh,
Okay.
Based my
Okay.
book on the numbers of his book. So Prince didn't do anything normal, and neither did I. So the chapters of my book are actually labeled the facets of a diamond: cut, color, clarity, you know, the weight, you know. So and each story of Prince falls into the story of the cut of a man, the color of a, you know, the color of his character, the clarity of you know, how he lived. And so it's just a really loving tale of behind the scenes. Some of the stories that I tell, there was no one there but Prince and myself as we walked through Paisley Park and heard the doves cry and spoke about God and the angels. So I had many people that have tried to challenge my stories, but if you weren't there, how can you challenge anything?
Okay.
So that was between me, Prince, and God. So, and I just truly believe, I even had some people to go as far as to tell me that I wasn't even there, that I made the whole thing up, that I was
The haters. The haters.
Wow. The haters.
So
Okay.
20 plus years of my life just disappeared, and then I don't know how to write to tell a story, you know, about, you know, how we loved and how we, you know, about the man, the brother, the father, the uncle, you know, the philanthropist, you know. So I'm just telling loving stories, you know, and like I said, some of the things, you know, the loving anecdotes that my father shared and how I got to this point in life, you know. So I'm just excited about what God is about to do to and through and for me. And, you know, I'm just excited, like I said. So this is volume 1, and look, volume 2 should be dropping in 2021. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
And then, you know, we'll have volume 3 that'll drop right behind that. So I'm excited, and I appreciate
That's
the
great.
question.
All right. Well, later on we're gonna have you, you know, reiterate on how people can get hold to the book and all of that. But we just wanted to start in with some questions and go ahead and grill you a little bit, get some tea from you. But what was it like working with the greatest artist, one of the greatest artists of all times? I mean, I know he was very busy, and he had a amazing work ethic. So you want to just tell us about how it was working with him?
It was an amazing experience. I tell people it was a blessing and a curse. One thing that he used to tell everybody, that people that work for him would normally fire themselves, because if you couldn't hang with his schedule, if you couldn't keep up, if heck, it didn't even matter. If you came in and stepped on the line wrong that day, you might get sent home. So ain't no telling. So but as much as he demanded from his crew, he also demanded of himself. So he was a workhorse, and he demanded the same thing of everyone that was a part of his crew. It was amazing. Like I said, I missed a lot of birthdays and anniversaries and Christmas, and you know, I missed my baby's first steps being on the road with Prince, but they had some beautiful Christmases because of me. So, so all of that, it was well worth it. So I had some friends was like, oh girl, if I was you, I wouldn't let him talk crazy to me. And if I was you, I wouldn't let him do this and I wouldn't let him do that. I said, well, let me see here. I'm in the hotel, 5-star hotel in Switzerland, and you're at home sitting on your mama's couch. So don't tell me what you want.
Right.
So basically, it sounds like some of his work ethic rubbed off on you, definitely. Because I mean, I've heard stories about Prince that he was definitely a workhorse, like you said. And when he was working on a project, I heard stories that it would be times where he didn't even hardly sleep for days because he was working on a project. And that's, I was gonna ask, you know, how was that working with him? Did that, you know, some of that work ethic obviously had to rub off on you?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he didn't play no games. Whenever he came into the hair salon, he would usually say, how long I got to be here? Because he was always working on something else. Working on a new song. Soon as he'd come in, he'd pop his CD in because he's working on a new song. Tell me what you think about this. You know, so you want to hear the beat. Sometimes I would just stand there kind of stoic and nonchalant. And then sometimes, you know, I be bobbing my head to the beat. He said, "Oh yeah, that's a hit. You bobbing your head, that's a hit." So I really loved the man because he cared about, you know, what I thought. I did have his ear, whether people, you know, want to believe it or not. And it's funny because even some nights late at night, I wound up on some of the music. When you hear that song, "Get Freaky, Let Your Head Bob," Kim Berry is in the backgrounds, singing on them background hooks. He was like, "Kim, I need your voice." I said, "I can't sing." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I can make it sound like whatever I need to sound." So let's go do it. Next thing I know, I'm in there, "Get freaky." Get freaky. I'm like, all right. I mean, girl, so it was just, like I said, it was an amazing experience. Like, I wouldn't trade nothing for my attorney. You know, it was not only, you know, was it just myself as a hairstylist. There was a brother named Earl that started with him when he first started out, you know, 70s, you know, whatever he started. Earl passed the baton to Tanya, and Tanya passed the baton to me during the Diamonds and Pearls era. And so it was just a beautiful experience, you know, and it was, you know, other hairstylists that came and went. So but there one constant in his life was Kim Berry. He always called me back. And
you were young when you were pretty young when you started working with him.
Yeah, I was 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
When they brought me on. And so I was dating one of his bodyguards, and the bodyguard introduced me to the hairstylist. So any set I go on, you know, I was so fascinated with the hairstylist, I would always just go find the hairstylist. Where the hairstylist and the makeup artist at? Just hanging out with her, and every time she would come to LA, she'd be like, "Kim, come on, we're going to this club. Come on, we're going to such and such." Now, mind you, I'm underage, but I'm looking, you know, full of voluptuous, like I got it going on. They let me in. I'm like, okay, good deal. So, so and then one day she came in, and she was like, "Girl, I'm tired of living out of a suitcase. I don't want to do this no more. And I want to go home. I want to be married." And I was like, "Girl, you work for the biggest entertainer in the world." She said, "No, that's not what you think." And I said, "I think you work for the biggest entertainer in the world." She said, "No," she said, "Kim, it gets old after a while." And I was like, "Oh, okay. You know, I'm starry-eyed, fresh out of beauty school." I'm thinking like, I don't know what you're talking about. And sure enough, my mother used to say, you know, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So
Amen.
And she went into the room and had an argument with Prince, and she told him, she said, "My lips is chapped from kissing your little black ass. I'm out of here." She packed her stuff. She got on the plane and left, and Kim was standing there. I call it the holy hookup, and God put me right in place.
Right.
And I had, the funny part about it is my dad used to tell me all growing up, success is when opportunity meets preparedness. When the opportunity presents itself, will you be prepared? Now, the whole time that I'm hanging out with her, I'm watching her table. That hairspray, she used that gel, she used that wax. Okay, got it. I'm duplicating her table, never thinking I would ever get the opportunity to work for Prince. But I would one day, you know, be a stylist, you know, and maybe work on a set or something. And before I knew it, I had duplicated her whole table. And when she quit, I was able to duplicate and lay his whole table out, so he never even missed a beat. So his everything was laying there completely the way he used it every day, everything. And that's because he was a creature of habit. He had OCD, everything.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to say that it seems like he was pretty meticulous.
Yeah.
He didn't play.
Right.
I mean, I would come in one time I moved his hairbrush from one side of the table to the other. He said, "Where's my brush?" And I said, "Well, you mean that brush sitting right there?" "Oh, I saw that." I said, "Yeah, no, you did." But okay. I was like, well, literally, because I moved it from one side of the table to the other. Like, his brain didn't even want to look to the other side of the table because the brush was supposed to be on his right side, though. Like,
he was a perfectionist. That's right.
Oh, yeah. He didn't play.
Well, Kim, I also have a question about your book. I know you have it broke down into different chapters, you know, the cut, color, clarity. But on your first one, when you talk about your cut, you talked about more of your foundation, your school years, and everything on how you hooked up with Prince and everything. Kind of like give us details about, you know, what exactly you mean when you talk about the topic, the cut. What does the cut really mean, or explains in the book?
Oh, okay, the cut of a man. Hold on, I can do this for you one quick. Basically, it's just the cut of a man. You know, they said, he used to say all the time that the material that he was made out of, they don't make that anymore. Mm-hmm. So that was one of our running jokes behind stage. You know,
that's what I said about myself.
31. Okay, hold on one second.
Take your time.
And all throughout the book, and the great part about it, you'll see all the behind the scenes pictures. So you'll see, different things. And then Brandy St. Nicholas blessed us with some of her beautiful pictures. But let me see. Okay, there we are.
That is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I can't wait till we get our copies.
Yeah,
I know. We are so excited about that.
Inside the book, it also has hair tips and tricks of all the hair tips, and because everybody asked me, what spray did you use on him? What conditioner did you use? Speaking of conditioner, Prince and I were collaborating on a hair care line, which I'm going to bring to fruition. So I'm going to have a Prince-inspired hair care line.
All right.
Okay.
Started it before he passed away, and I'm going to bring it to fruition. So stay tuned. As Prince used to say, hold on to your wigs. So this is what it has all the, Prince. This is a brother named Gary who drew all the characters.
Look at that hair.
And so you're gonna find it's all kind of good stuff in here. It's not just a book. This brother named Moy.
Wow. We're losing your
your
audio, Kim.
We're losing audio.
Oh, okay. Now I hear you. You put the book up there.
I'm sorry, I was covering it up.
It covers you up.
This brother's name is Moises Sorrell.
You gotta move the book back, Kim.
Move the book back, Kim.
We can't hear you when you
When
put
you
the
put the
move
book
book.
up, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay. So he did some beautiful artwork, and I'm like I said, I'm just excited about being able to share all of this in my journey. So hold on to shakes.
Well, Kim, also, I want to know, how did you come up with those Prince funky hairstyles?
That's
Like,
what I was wondering.
how did y'all even talk about that?
Just like the music, we collaborated. In the studio, we going through it. We had a full-blown hair studio upstairs in Paisley Park in the back, above the MPG music room. So most of the fans who know exactly how Paisley Park is set up, my studio was upstairs. So that was my studio, for me, and his studios were downstairs with the music.
So did you stay? You stayed at Paisley Park? Did you stay at Paisley Park most of the time, or you?
No,
went
I
back and
stayed
forth?
at a hotel down the street from Paisley Park, but every house that Prince had, I designed a hair salon inside of every room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every room was turned into a hair salon. So every house he ever rented, everywhere, we always had a hair salon. So he didn't have to go anywhere. And then when we came to LA, he and I collaborated on a hair salon. It was called the First Lady Salon and Spa in Los Angeles. And he loved it and used to come in there, and all the girls would just get a kick out of it because Prince come walking through the front door. Even though he had a back cave entrance in the back, he always wanted the girls to see him coming through the front door. So he came through the front door. They'd be like, "Oh my God, there he is!" So everybody would go crazy, and so it was just like I said, it was a beautiful experience. Let me get to the cut of the man. So right here it says the cut of a diamond in its only quality, completely shaped by external factors, various instruments, curve, the slice revealing shape, style, and symmetry, as well as the lines and the angles that determine how well the diamond reflects and disperses light. When finished, it is the cut that determines the brilliance of the diamond and ultimately his beauty. And so one of the first things that people ask me, finding out that I worked for Prince for 29 years, is how did you meet him? And that's when I went into like I told you guys before, I was dating his bodyguard. Mm-hmm. And the bodyguard introduced me to the hairstylist, and the hairstylist up and quit. And it was a holy hookup. Like, God will place you where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there.
That's
and
true.
if you put your things on the things that you want to do, you put your mind, put it before God, God will literally place you there. And I'm truly a believer of that.
Yes,
and,
sir.
And I really just thank God for it. I surrounded myself with people who were like-minded, were in the industry, way much older than me, but still, guided me and shaped me. And I'm looking forward to doing that for the future stars and the generations of hairstylists and hair designers that are coming up behind me. So I'm excited about that. So I'm touring the country with my book and, telling my story about Prince, as well as telling people about an on-time God, because he'll show enough do it for you, and it's just a beautiful experience, and I'm just excited to tell my story.
Kim, can you sing? Because it sounds like you can sing. Your
I can
voice.
hold a note in a bucket.
Yeah.
In a bucket.
Well, I know to sing. singer, but I can hold a note.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a little Kelly Price going on over there.
I'll be in the background at the choir, doing the big choir.
your thing.
Well, Kim, also had a question. As far as I know, you was the body. You met him through the bodyguard or whatever. But what did you do to stand out for Prince to be like, I want you as my stylist? Was it a haircut? Did he say, is it something that made you stand out to make him want you to be his hairstylist, or he just needed someone and you was there?
The bodyguard did a lot of talking for me beforehand, So what he did with a lot of people, a lot of hires were usually internal with the company. And so he would go on people's word of mouth, or if he, a lot of his band members or whatever, he would go on YouTube, and if he saw, he could see the star in you. And if it wasn't there in the forefront, he would pull it out of you because he knew of what we were capable of. And that was what he put so much on your shoulders, but he knew what you were capable of. I love my beauty school teacher because I remember, I call it my Mr. Miyagi moment. My beauty school teacher would bring a stack of towels every day and sit them on my station and be like, when I come back in an hour, I need all 7 of these people, shampooed and conditioned. So didn't know that when he was doing that he was actually building my speed up and getting me ready for the industry. So everything that was happening in my life before was guiding me towards what was about to go on in my life.
So you style.
Because one thing that happens when you're on set, they walk in and say, I need that girl right now. I need that girl in 5 minutes. I need that girl. And you got to be able to handle and move accordingly and get these people out on set, because what you don't want to do is be the department that the crew or the movie or the video set has to wait on for them to get their next shot.
Right.
So Kim Berry, as I built up my speed, my teacher used to tell me quality and then quantity, never sacrificing one for the other.
So basically, you weren't just doing his hair; you was doing everybody else's hair and stuff on set too, background, everybody.
Absolutely. So all the women on set, even some of the brothers, Michael Bland had that little 4-piece of curls that had to be turned and colored and tweaked. Sometime I did shorty tip of curl, and Prince used to just giggle and thought that was the funniest thing. Them little 4-piece of curls. He was like, Kim, go do my hair. Go do my hair. Mike got 4 curls. That's gonna take me 2 seconds to do. Okay, but yeah, it used to just crack me up, but. Yeah, I took care of all the brothers, and then I had to make sure, as well as, the wardrobe, the makeup and hair department, we all had to make sure that they had everything that they needed. Right. Every tour we went, and everybody had their own kits with their own toothbrushes and makeup brushes and, whatever toiletries that each band member needed. So, and every tour, there was normally brand new tour members. So they would have to get all new things, all new, we set up their clothing. Like people say, like when Prince died, I had a lot of his clothing after, it was over. I had socks, I had handkerchiefs, because I wasn't just his hairstylist. I literally was his personal assistant / funky / gopher girl / whatever. Nobody had one job on that tour. So I remember one time I had an assistant on tour, and the accountant came in and was like, what do you do? And so the person would say, yeah, well, I'm Kim's assistant. And so he go, what do you do? Oh, I'm what do you? So he would come in and everybody's assistant got cut. So you would have to, where I would just call Prince and they would, my assistant would take care of the girls on the band or whoever else that was in the thing. Oh no, he would let them go. And then I would be stuck running up and down the arena, from one end of the arena to the other to take care of the whole band. Well, because they was trying to save $1 out of 15 cents, but we'd spend money on dumb stuff, but we would let you go so that we would have to work hard to get it done. But baby, let me tell you something. When I tell you that built up some integrity, some strength, and some fortitude in me,
I bet you it did. I bet you it did.
Cam, we have a question from one of the viewers. So this is like a random question. Our viewers are watching and asking us questions. So what did Prince like to eat? Did he have like a favorite food that he enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, well, everybody from every tour can probably tell you something else that he loved. Like now, the new argument online is Sheila E. and her lemon cake, girl. So at the time when I was rolling with him, he loved chocolate chip cookies. I had to walk around with Tootsie Pop suckers in my pocket at all times because he lived on sugar, He was a vegetarian, but at some point his doctor told him you have to eat some form of protein. So eggs, girl, he scrambled eggs for everybody in the crew. You want to make scrambled eggs? No, I don't want no more eggs. No more eggs. Every night, girl, after the
So that's what he liked to. So that's what he liked to do. That's what he liked to eat, or was that something that he liked to make?
He would cook. He knew how to cook that one thing. If it
That one thing, okay. So he knew how to
cook that one thing. So I'll be like, no, I don't want no more eggs. Okay. But he loved his salads, girl. He loves his smoothies. Like when I would come off tour, I would have lost so much weight, and people would be like, "How you lose so much weight?" I said, "Well, when you're in Rome, you got to do what the Romans do." So
that's right.
He was smoothieing it up. I just make me a smoothie too and keep it moving.
Well, Kim, let me ask you a question.
He was a vegetarian, and he stayed on his grind. And most of the time, like I said, when he would come in the hair salon, I would try to keep him there extra time. And put him under the dryer. He'd be like, "How many minutes under this dryer?" I said 20, but he would fall asleep, but he'd be under there for an hour. But I leave him there because he wouldn't sleep. He would just, and then that 1 hour worth of sleep and getting his hair done, he would be up for 2 more days after that. Working on music.
Wow.
Because he was just a consummate, workhorse professional. He didn't play. And so when I got a chance to literally, and I would be curling his hair, and I remember the first time he was in my chair, he fell asleep in my chair. And I'm curling his hair and I'm following his head. I'm like, oh my God, he's falling asleep. I'm like, oh my God. But baby, I made so careful not to burn that man. I'm like, not to burn his head.
It's so silly.
I can't believe
Well, Kim, did y'all ever get into arguments? Did he ever make you mad? Did y'all ever fuss about anything?
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
And 29 years.
He was the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had to win. So, I would come out and be like, well, maybe this guy really is pretty. Okay. I was like, so he gonna change your mind when he finished with you, But, I got my little jabs and digs in every now and then. So that was always cool. I said, whenever I would stump him on something, we would go back and forth on Bible verses. And something that I didn't know, girl, I would call my bishop and be like, "Bishop, where you find this?" And he'd talk crazy. So, girl, we would go back and forth, and whenever I stumped, he'd be like, "Oh, Kim, I ain't talking to you no more." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't want to talk when you lose. You a sore loser." Girl, but I tell you, he whoop on you in some ping pong and some basketball, girl. He didn't play. He's like, "Come on in here, let me whoop on you right quick." I was like, because he knew he was gonna win in them 2 categories.
Kim, did he have a nickname for you or anything, or were you just Kim to him? Did he have a special name?
No, girl, no. I mean, he used to call me Joanne's daughter because that's my mama's name, and then he called me Cece's mama once my baby came. He'd be like, "Cece's mama." I was like, Lord have mercy, this man. I was like, well, he's just funny, girl. And then he used to tell everybody, "You met my homegirl from Compton?" I'd be like, "I don't live in Compton." I'll tell people. He's like, "Don't worry about him. Just tell him. Just let him live in the moment. Just let him live in the moment."
So he had a little sense of humor.
I was like, that's all y'all watch on TV. Y'all know about a Snoop Dogg and Compton.
Right. Well, Kim, I see you playing with your hair. I think we got pictures of her different styles.
Yeah, we got some different styles.
We need to check out some different styles. Let's see what.
And you can tell us about some of the styles that we got of Prince's hair.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
he
producer.
changed in a minute, girl. He wore everything. Now this was the raspberry beret haircut. This was actually Earl. So that's me working up a black sweat, girl. That's my favorite video. Everybody want to know how he got to the black sweat video.
Can
black
you see?
Sweat bang. Oh,
Kim.
And
can
when
you
he
see
did
the
his
pictures?
fro, I love the baby fro, but I ain't like that big wop.
Can you see the pictures, Kim?
Yeah, I can see them.
Okay.
So those are curls. Now this is Tanya's hairdo right here. That's Tanya's hairdo. So Tanya was during that time. So yep, there go the iconic finger waves and the mohawk big curls.
I like that look on him.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that
And
look.
this haircut right here.
That's like what you got right now, Kim.
I loved Prince's short haircut. I loved him short. So
I like
that
that.
my big curls and the finger waves, girl, the typhoon, that's what they call it. But I love the hairstyles. Yep, there he is again. That was a sexy black man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he does.
I used to tell everybody, they'd be like, "Didn't you love him?" No, I loved him. This was our Rolling Stones cover, or one of the covers of the magazines that we did.
Look at that mustache.
Big curls, and it was so easy, girl, to do his hair. This was an Earl hairdo. That was back in Earl's day right there. And
did you style him too, Kim?
Huh?
Did you style him too with his clothing?
Well, he had wardrobe stylists, and he had a whole wardrobe department, girl, that worked like little minions, girl. That
I love this.
that long, sexy hair right there.
That's like an afro, right?
No, that's a blowout.
A
Girl.
blowout.
Okay,
Throw
blowout.
that in the wind, girl. There we go. With them big curls, girl. We just throw them big curls in that hair. Baby, that hair was luscious. And like we could cut it all off and then grow it back out. Literally, girl, like between 2 months, girl, his hair would be a whole from a shortcut like mine to a full.
It would grow out.
Wow.
That's good. You took good care of his hair.
Was that a wig? I'm like, no, that boy could grow some hair. He had some great genes. Girl.
Wow.
Oh wow.
He could grow some hair. That's
That
what he
means you're a
could.
good
That's why
hairstylist
he
because you
didn't
can grow hair
care,
good.
about cutting his hair off. He didn't care about dyeing it or permanent, you know. And everybody like, oh, he had pretty hair. I'm like, what's pretty hair? Because baby, we put juices and berries in that hair. That was full perm, relaxed the color, everything. He was doing ombre on Prince's hair before ombre was even created.
Wow.
Baby, he didn't play. He wasn't scared of anything. He wore every hairstyle, you know, according to woman. And you know, we kept all like the magazines from Milan and Italy and, you know, France. And because he wanted to know what they were doing overseas. So whatever, if they were long, he wanted to go short. And if they were short, he wanted to go long. So he always stayed ahead of the curve. And he didn't care what nobody else said. Like when we did the famous Buckley braid.
42.
Like, oh Lord Jesus, I said, my friend will talk about me. And we were just walking down the hall one day, and he was like, I think we're gonna do a photo shoot. I said, okay. So I just feathered his hair. His hair was beautiful. And he said, he was like, I think I want some braids in my hair. So I said, okay, you want it, you know, feathered and I mean, you want it parted off real neat. I'm trying to find the picture.
I know one time, maybe in the beginning, I know one time you were skeptical about cutting his hair, or he didn't. You didn't want to cut it, but he wanted it cut, and you was like,
"Oh, that was after 1999."
Yeah, okay.
Like,
Ooh,
he
look at
walked
that
in
hair.
and he said, Kim, he said, cut my hair, and I said, no. He said, you cut it, I'm gonna cut it for you. I said, he only wanted it that long that night because it looked good playing his guitar, so it swung around while he was playing his guitar. I said, "Ooh, shame on you."
Hey,
So,
Kim, some of our audience is having a hard time hearing you. So is there anything in the way of your mic or anything? Because they're having a little hard time hearing your voice.
I'm
Or
not
if you
sure.
or if you put something up close, then your voice kind of
probably. Yeah,
disappears.
they're saying,
Yeah, the book. Yes, the
yeah,
book.
they're saying speak closer to the mic.
Well, if you put the book close to the mic, then you're
Yeah,
fading. So
they
can you
can't
just keep
hear
the
it.
book
Oh,
kind
okay,
of
yeah.
further out?
This
Yeah,
is one of the pictures from Moise Sorrell that
that's good.
basically
That's much
comes
better.
from
Yeah, we
Prince.
can hear you better now.
Yeah, Prince starting with the fro and ending with the fro. So I was able to take him from basically this hairstyle, forehead, and all of that forward is all my work. So that's the beautiful part about that. So, but he, you know, he wasn't afraid about anything. You know, Moise Sorrell is an artist. It's all over the internet. Everybody is like, one of my friends told me, you know, you were funny history.
We're kind of losing you again, Kim.
We're losing you again, but
your
it's
elbow.
time for us to take a quick break, and then we're gonna come right back with you. And we're gonna get back in it. All right.
Stay tuned. Don't leave us now. All right, y'all, go get the book, Diamonds and Curls. My girl Kim Berry, go Walmart, check it out on eBay, Amazon, and any of her social media network platforms, and just go find the book. And she, like she said, she's working on a website, but it's coming soon. But check out the book, Diamonds and Curls. You don't want to miss it. And we're back. That's right.
We are back.
So we are back. Rocking with Miss Kim Berry, talking about all things Prince and all about her 29 years that she spent working with the man.
Right. Now, Kim, I got a question for you. I want to get to the juicy stuff. Now, what has any of Prince fans, what's the weirdest thing any of Prince fans did to get to him? Did they come to you to try to get to him, or did they offer you money or bribe you or anything to just try to get close to him, get a piece of his hair or anything?
A piece of his hair.
I had one lady offer me like $1,000. We were doing Good Morning America, and
They
we were
stalk
shooting
you?
live out in the middle of the, you know, the square where they shoot. And the lady saw me, brushing his hair. She was like, "I'll give you $1,000 for that brush right now. I'll give you $1,000."
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, "Really?" I said, "No, you might do some voodoo on him. I'm not giving you this brush."
Oh wow.
I was like, I said, "Thanks anyway, though. I appreciate it." I was like, "Yeah, but yeah, that girl sliding stuff under my door. I don't know how they would find me, but baby, they knew. This note, can you please give this to him and please just pass it away, pass it on to him." If I was backstage, they would meet me because I would be bringing stuff in, clothing or whatever articles that Prince needs from the car into the arena. And girl, they would text me at the back door, "Please just give this to him, just hand this to him." And I remember one time I slipped and took something in there to him, and he was like, "Don't ever bring me anything." He was like, "They can sue me for, saying they saw their flower on my whatever." And I was just like, "Oh, I didn't know it was that serious."
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so we were not allowed to bring any gifts in to him, and nothing like that. 'Cause he said they could sue him, at a moment's notice.
Wow.
"Oh, well, he used my image, he used my flower, he used my," and like, this is the most creative entity in the world. Why would he have to use your image?
Use anything.
Right,
That's
exactly.
right.
Right.
That's right.
So yeah, it was different, but it was tough being him, and I get that.
I
Well,
understand.
Kim, we got to introduce our hot topic because we ain't talked about our hot topic yet, and get it going. That's one of the things that we do on every one of our shows. And of course, we want your input on the hot topic.
What
and,
hot topic?
And what we just Kim gonna be talking about today, and we got our
Let's see. Well, some of the questions for our hot topic is,
That's at the end.
Kim, how was your dating life? Did you keep that on the low, that you were Prince hairstylist, or did you discuss your dating life with Prince, or did he have an input about your relationships and who you had in your life at the time? So those are a couple of questions that we want to get into and learn more about Kim and Prince and just understand you as a relationship wise for Love and Hips.
Okay, how was your dating life?
That's at the end.
Dating was hard once I got hired.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, and then I really didn't. We talked about his relationships all the time.
Okay.
Because he was always in one and out of one and in one and out of one. But as far as Prince was very protective over the women in his life, and I mean from the hairstylist to the makeup artist to the band members. Your life belonged to him. Once he hired you, your life belonged to him. Nothing outside. I remember a girl literally when I decided to get married. He was like, "You want me to perform?" I told him, I came and did his hair that day, and I said, "I'm getting married tomorrow." He said, "You want me to come play for your reception?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, psych." He was like, yeah, "Oh, okay, that's dirty." I said, "All right," but girl, the next day I'm on my honeymoon. He called me and said, "I need you to come to New York and do my hair." And I said, No. I said, "I told you last night that I was getting married. I'm on my honeymoon." I said, "But what I can do is if you want to fly me and my husband and let us continue our honeymoon in New York," I said, "we can do that." And he was like, No, I'm not taking care of that. He said, "Just you come, do my hair, and then you can go back home." And I just thought to myself, Kim, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. No, sir, I'm not going to be able to do that because I informed you that I was getting married and now I'm on my honeymoon, so I'm going to have to go and take this honeymoon. And girl, I got put on punishment for like 3 months, girl. And he decided to go hire his second wife at the time, Manuela, hired her hairstylist. And girl, he over blow dried his hair to death, girl, to death did it part where it started breaking off. And he probably had to call me and he said, my code word was when his hair started falling out was tell Kim to bring everything. So that means 911.
Right.
We got to bring out the hot oil treatments, everything.
You got to bring it back.
So yeah, I said, "Oh, so you had to wait till the hair started falling out before you call your girl back. You gonna put me on punishment? Okay." I said, "Let's see how that worked out for you."
He was
that
trying to
hair
teach you a
tore up
lesson.
when I got back.
He was trying to teach you a lesson, girl.
Yeah, he was, but I was teaching him one too. Don't call me at the last minute.
Well, how did your husband feel about that when he wanted you to come to New York?
He was outdone. And so that's why I was like, I'm not leaving him here. But I said, but if you want to extend our honeymoon and we come to New York and hang out with you, because I knew we was going to be there partying and hanging out with him. And because that's what he wanted was some extra company, girl. So I was always there to babysit him or keep him company, while he was bored in the hotel room, girl. It was so funny because even though he was 10 years older than me, they always used to say, you know, you really like his mama, right? Because you're the one to take care of him and you're the one to keep him in line. I said, yeah, I know. I said, but yeah, so like I said, I had to stand on that one. I said, I'm just some things I'm not gonna let you do to me, and that's gonna be one of them.
Well, Kim, how did you meet your husband?
Girl, at the car wash. I was coming home. I was actually on break from tour, and pulled up at the car wash, getting my car washed, and he walked over, girl, with a big old iguana on his shoulder, and he told me, "Oh, don't run! It ain't gonna bite you." I said, "I'm not scared of that thing." I'm like, cause the bodyguard before him had boa constrictors, so I wasn't scared of reptiles. So I was just like, I said, I'm not scared of that thing. So I was like, it's no big deal. And so he said, okay, so we got to talking, and next thing you know, he said something about Prince. I said, oh, funny you should say Prince. So I looked in the back of my truck and pulled out my laminates from all the tours that I had been on. He was like, I said, yeah, I work for Prince. He was like, you lying. I said, no. He's like, that's my favorite artist in the world. And I was like, oh, Lord, okay. And so, you know, of course, everything turns into a Prince interview once you tell somebody you work for Prince. And I was like, oh, here we go. So, well, it was a match made in heaven after that, because he was a Prince fanatic, and I was working for Prince, so he was able to travel on the road with us. And then when my daughter came, my daughter traveled all over the world with us. So it was just really cool.
So Anna got a question it's a relationship question. It's going to be for you to answer and also for the audience to answer. You all can call in and talk to Kim, or you can call in and elaborate on some of the questions we're going to be asking as well. The number is 470-251-4647 for the audience. And we are looking at your comments as well. Yeah. So
this is just a relationship. This is just a relationship, question. So, what is the most important question to ask, like on a first date? So when you were, dating back then, and people knew that you were around Prince and stuff, and you were dating, what do you think would be the important question to ask on the first date, or what were you asked on the first date?
Most important question. Wow. First you definitely want to know, are you married? Yeah,
that's back then and that's now
and
too.
Now I just go down the list. Where your man? Where your baby mama? Where your boo thing? Where your? They all fall in different categories. So if you say I missed one, then I'm gonna be like, oh no, I went down the list. I said your man, your boo thing, your baby mama. I want to know where's your wife, because I'm not trying to play second fiddle to nobody.
Okay.
So, like what Beyonce said, if I could not be number one, I will not be number two unless I want to be. Okay. So that's definitely a first question I'm asking on the first day. Who else is it? What's happening?
Was it hard for you to date since you were so busy in your your career?
And the great part about it, like I said, I did long-term relationships, so it was cool. So I was married. And I went from, that the guy who I was with, that was my original first boyfriend, and then went into another relationship, but I was always in long-term relationships. So, and only the guys who I was dating at the time knew that I worked for Prince, because that was nothing I told. Like, people didn't even know that it was me until after Prince died. And when they started seeing pictures, and Channel 11 News was sitting on my front lawn as soon as I got home and wanted the first, news clip from me. When they were like, it was you all this time, it was you. And I'm like, yeah, because it was like, when you were a little kid, your mom said you stay in the back, you be seen and not heard. So I stayed in the background and, and kept it to myself, because he was that type of dude. And, and so now.
I was going to say, he was very private anyway.
Yeah, he was a private person, and, he didn't do much press, or if he did do it, he pick and chose who he was going to speak to and what he was going to speak about. And he kept all his pictures, original pictures, and all his masters. He controlled everything. He was no joke. He was a serious, shrewd businessman. But it just was interesting, like I said, to see him fall in and out of relationships. So his relationships were always more comical than mine. So I remember one day Apollonia and Carmen Electra were doing an interview at People Magazine, and they were just telling all his business. And he said, "What if I just went and did a book on them?" And I said, "Yeah, you should do a book. You should do a book." He's like, "No, I ain't giving them the satisfaction." And he's like, what if I just tell all their business and everything they did and said? He said they wouldn't like that at all, would them? So his little feelings would get hurt, girl, because every time we read the tabloids and see a new story about his life, and he'd be like, what in the world? Like, where are they making this stuff up at? Because that was our running joke, because it's like, none of y'all know him. So what is it? I would be in hair salons at home, and you could just hear people talking about Prince. Oh, and I heard he do this, and I heard he do that, and I would just sit there and giggle because they didn't know that I was in the inside camp and knew all the business. And whenever I got ready, I could spill the tea if and when I wanted to. And so it was just interesting, to hear their take on his love life and his relationship.
Exactly.
What they thought he was doing, and
people had
every man wanted to be him, but every woman wanted him.
People had to, exactly.
Right.
People had to speculate about him because, like you said, he didn't divulge it too much about himself. We had to get his story basically through the music. So, and then with that, you can kind of make assumptions because it was all assumptions.
The lines, right?
Yeah,
and most people, it was so funny because most people swore up and down they knew everything about him, but they had never been to a concert. They had never been had sat down and had a conversation with him. But everything. Like even to this day, people try to out Prince me, and I'll just look at him and go, "Really? Oh,
right."
And because they think that because they listen to the music, Prince was an entertainer. And he knew how to give you what you needed through those lyrics. And some of it be true, and some of it be damn. Trust me. And so he made up beautiful, colorful stories in his mind and brought them to life. Like he said, bring to life a vision in one's mind. That brother could bring a story. He was an incredible storyteller. And so, but people would swear that everything on it was true. And I'm like, no, some of it he made up because he knew that that's what you guys like. So it's like, but they wouldn't let me tell that story.
The presentation
they wanted to
was
tell
bad,
the Prince, And I'm like, no, he didn't sneeze purple fairy dust, and it didn't smell good. He was a human being just like everybody else. He didn't walk around and float on purple clouds. He tripped every now and then, and his shoelaces were untied. Yeah, he was a regular human being just like everybody else.
Well, I have another question as far as the relationship part. I know that you said you told your husband that you were Prince's stylist, but how did you know, or how did you judge if it was real love, or did he love you just because you was Prince's hairstylist?
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask.
Oh, that's tough.
Right.
He really liked me. I think he really liked me. But I know he was a Prince fan because I remember he used to always say too that he hoped me and Prince didn't break up on bad terms because he was gonna always play Prince music. But girl, let me tell you, one of the requirements was when I got off tour, because I was on tour at 24/7, I was listening to Prince music all day, all night. I had to listen to the music before it came out. I had to listen to the music during the time it was being created.
Okay.
But when I got home, him not listening to no Prince music.
Okay.
Not in the bedroom, not nowhere. I don't want to hear no Prince. When I'm off, I'm off.
So what did you play?
And he hated that. And he was like, I'm a Prince fan. You are tripping.
So when you didn't play Prince music, what did you play?
Girl, anything else, back that time, girl. And who else was bumping in? R. Kelly was good back then.
Lord, not Kells.
Yeah. I said, yeah, girl, anybody else, it didn't even matter. But it definitely you couldn't play no Prince. Like
you had heard enough, huh?
You couldn't play it nowhere around me.
I heard somewhere you had made the comment that your relationship was great with Prince because you weren't a fan of Prince.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
I heard that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, me too.
So can you elaborate on that? What you mean by that? Exactly.
Like most people, like when the fans are, like I got one homegirl that's really close to me, and she know Prince in and out. And she would go, Kim, do you know this song? Nope. Kim, do you know this song? Nope. I said, let me tell you what I know. I know Purple Rain. I know Little Red Corvette. I know Future Baby Mama, because that's my jam. I said, I love Billy Jack Bitch, because baby, that was the cut. I was always backstage, Billy Jack Bitch. Hey! But that's my favorite song. But anything like the B-sides in between, I don't know nothing. While Prince was playing the music on stage, night after night, I heard some of the most beautiful orchestrated music. Maceo Parker, Candy Dulfer, Chance, Liv Warfield, Shelby Johnson, like the most beautiful music. Sheila E., Patti LaBelle.
Oh,
I never forget when Patti LaBelle was on tour with us one time, girl. It came out and got to doing the Fat Joe. My niggas don't dance; they just pull up their pants. They had 70,000 people doing the lean back dance, girl. It was amazing. So when I tell you, like I said, I saw night after night of some of the most amazing music. Like, he messed it up for every live concert after that because Prince would come out and pour it on the stage, baby. And if it was 10 people left in the audience after his 7 or 8 encores that he would give every night, if it was them 10 people left, he would come out and give them another hour worth of show as if they was through a full concert in there. Like, he left. I told everybody when he died, when he got to the gates of heaven, he told God, I left it all on the stage. Everything you gave me, I left it on the stage for my fans. Because, baby, he just like the night he did 20 nights in 20 nights in Los Angeles. He gave those tickets away for $25. He was the first artist to ever do that and probably the last. Right. And every night he poured it out on the stage like them people paid $1,000 for those tickets. And I mean, that man was a consummate professional. He played no games. The music was his lover. His wives were his mistress. You understand me?
And they knew that. That was the understanding.
Huh?
I said, and they knew that. That was the understanding.
And they knew that, yeah. And many of the girls who tried to get with him would ask me questions like, because all of them would sit in my chair and get their hair done. And so they would try to drill me. And, oh, well, Kim, what do you think I should tell him? And Kim, what do you think I should do to make him love me? I'd be like, look here, my check is signed by Prince Roger Nelson. So Kim don't answer to nobody but Roger Nelson. Kim ain't giving up no secrets to how to love that man. So I said, girl, you better get all the pretty dresses you can while you can. Because after this, you won't be around next year.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Whatever you going to get while you here.
While you here, because you probably temporary.
Most of them would get parting gifts, so they would get record deals, they would get jewelry, they would get clothes, they would get all kind of stuff. And I used to tell him, like the big things, like the going on tour and record deals, or if he buy them a house, I'd be like, don't take the gift, you'll kill yourself. Because once he gives you the big gift, that's it. Your time is up. Everybody knew whoever the female was inside Paisley Park, you was the star at the party.
We are gonna pop up some of his pictures of. I think we have the album covers. Right. So we wanted to pull those up. You can let us know which ones are your favorites and tell us a little bit about them.
Okay. This is Earl's work. Yeah, that's Earl's work. But his shortcuts were my favorite. I mean, I could do a shortcut in 20, 30 minutes, but girl, he would, buckwheat braids, girl, and these are the braids that I was telling you about.
He wanted that right there.
He made me go get some ribbons from his wardrobe department, and every night I had to tie ribbons in his hair to match his outfit. So whatever outfit he had on, he had to have matching ribbons in his hair. So every night, girl, we would braid his hair for months. Girl, my friends would call me like, Kim, what is going on up there? I said, look here, I got to give the people what they want. I said, if this man want to look like buckwheat, I'm going to make him look like buckwheat. I said, Purina, that's really who that was.
Oh, Lord. Now, Chris now.
That long his long hair. But yeah, that was Earl's work. That was in the early days. That was before me.
Wow.
But I loved, he had the healthiest head of hair. That was the big curls with the typhoon finger waves on the side. That was the diamonds, and that was right, when my era, when I picked up diamonds and pearls. I keep calling it diamonds and curls, but it's diamonds and pearls.
Now, I love this afro look.
This afro right here, the baby fro, I love the baby fro. So we cut his hair off. He was dating a young lady named Andy Allo. And Andy had a great big afro.
But how did you get that? The texture looks different.
That's computer generated. So his hair was curly, but he would fork it out and make it, and they actually framed his hair.
Oh, okay.
So that's computer generated.
Cause that's a perfect afro.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I said. But when he had his baby fro was on hit. I love that baby fro. I used to be like, okay, as it got longer, I'd be like, let me twist it up so that you can have little waves, like Maxwell and all that. No, Kim, no, I
got a mask.
He would just let me do the color.
In the pandemic,
he might have.
This is my favorite.
Yes, honey. 31, 21.
That hair was laid. You see, I said we got that fresh color and that fresh perm on that head. And girl, I took them little tweezer curls and tweezed it on down to that neckline, baby. We kept them bangs whipped and that hair. That hairline stay laid. I love his short haircuts.
That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
He has some beautiful shortcuts.
Yes, girl, I love his short
back
hair.
behind you. There's the picture, or it looks like a drawing.
Yes, girl, we did. I invited the fans, and we did a huge paint and sip, and that was the picture that we did for the event. So that was the tycoon hairstyle with the big curls and the finger waves on the side. But that was my version of the event. So
I like that
fans
look.
Came out. I
That's
gave
beautiful.
all kind of gifts, and they left with all kind of stuff. It was so nice. So I need to do that again. So Los Angeles, get ready. We're gonna do another Prince paint and sip.
Hold on 1 second. We have a caller, Kim.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Love and Hips.
Hello, this is Lisa. How are you today?
Hey, Lisa. How are you?
Lisa.
I'm doing well, Watching this show, ladies, you all are doing a great job.
What's she finna say?
Great job.
Thank you.
The only question that I really have for Kim. Hello, this is Lisa. Greetings, everyone.
Hello?
Hey, Lisa. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
I think I'm getting some delay.
Yeah, you're looking at a delay. Just go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. The question is, did he have any pets?
Did he have any pets?
Did he have any pets?
The girls, he had a big fat cat. Her name was Paisley. And it was a few Paisleys, but it was one in particular while my time there. And she was a big fat thing, girl. She wobbled all over Paisley Park, girl. He loved that cat. And then, Maite, when him and Maite got together, they had like 4 or 5 dogs, Mia, plus a bunch of other people. Girl, I remember one day I was sitting in the kitchen with them, and we would always be in between his studio breaks. Girl, the dog ran right across the top of my shoulders. And girl, it would just be pets everywhere. He had the doves upstairs, so the doves were always crying. And so it was always something going on in Paisley Park. So the dogs, the cat, the doves, so yeah.
All kind of animals.
It was a zoo.
Little mini zoo. It's what it said.
So he was an animal lover. That's
He
good.
loved animals, yes.
Okay, that's good. Lisa, was that your all for your question?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay.
Well, thanks for calling in, Lisa.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Lisa.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
You
Have a
too.
good day.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
I'm loving the questions. They just keep coming.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Well, Kim, let's continue to talk about it as far as the relationships. And I know you said, did Prince ever really talk to you about any of the girls that he really liked, or did you like any of the girls, or did they not like you? Like, how was your relationship with all the women that he dated, and who was your favorite?
Contrary to popular belief, Maite was my favorite. He loved him some Maite. He used to say most understanding of all was Maite. In this book, I tell, the story of the baby being born and, what happened during the event. So, a lot of people speculated, I was able to tell my truth in the book.
Right.
And so what was one great thing about it was you could be on the north side of the corner and I could be on the south side of the corner. And if we saw the same car accident, we would tell 2 different stories. So it doesn't make any one story less true or less correct.
Right.
We just have 2 different perspectives.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so her book, The Beautiful One, was told from her perspective, and my book, Diamonds and Curls, is told from my perspective. And so in part 2, we will go into the second wife story, Manuela. And so, people will learn different stories, and I tell, stories throughout the whole book about all the women he was with, from Andy Allo to Chili, who else? Jada Pinkett came through the camp. Who else? You name it, I've seen a little bit of everything and everyone. And, some of the people that didn't get famous or didn't have a name, I call those fly by night. So it was beautiful women all over. Like Prince was like, he was the Luda back in his day. So Prince had hoes in every area. Okay? So we would pull up and baby, it would be statuesque models, girl, at every hotel. And I mean, some of the most beautiful women, girl. And he went on some of the most expensive dates, and girl would take Kim Berry along with him. And I used to be like, why are you? And so that's what I tell people.
We have another caller. Can we have another caller? We have another caller. Love and Hips. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Who is this?
Man.
Hello.
How we
Yes,
help
are you
you?
guys
Love and Hips TV.
answering a question?
Why was Prince obsessed with the color purple?
Why was Prince obsessed with the color purple?
Color, the purple was a color of royalty and represent, majestic, close to God. And so he was about everything that had anything to do with royalty, majestic, and so he was with it back in the day. I don't know if it was a manager or someone suggested that should be his color, and anything that he did, he was going to make it his own. And so he took it to the hip. Whatever he was gonna do, he was gonna pimp it to the full point of pimpacity. So definitely he loved that because it represented royalty.
Okay, great. Thank you for answering that question. But so talking about the celebrities and stuff like that you have you worked
I
with?
was telling people that we left hairstylist client relationship long time ago.
Yes.
And we literally became family because who takes their hairstylist on dates with them?
That's
you know what I
right.
mean?
Exactly.
Like, Kim was the buffer. So it used to be the most hilarious thing in the world. Like we literally flew across the world, girl, and went and shot a video. So y'all know Cortisone with Selma Hayek, girl, because he was infatuated with him some Selma Hayek, okay? We flew across the world to Morocco. Now, it was the most fabulous trip we had ever been on. It was bomb. First of all, we got off the plane, the sky was purple. And I said, and the Prince got off the plane, he said, now that's how you welcome a brother home, God. He was like, so glad to get off the plane. I kissed the ground. I said, Lord, I was so glad to just be on the ground. So that's the longest trip ever. But we flew out there and they shot in this beautiful bathhouses. It was old world, like they did not upgrade a thing. Girl, the street was so narrow. We shot in these bathhouses.
Oh, wow.
It was just amazing. Like they did not change anything. These beautiful castles, girl, that had underground tunnels where the kings would run through the tunnels.
Wow.
If the fortress ever got attacked. And of course, Prince had to shoot in the castles. And so it was just amazing. But we got out there, and when I tell you, Salma Hayek had just finished this movie, I forgot. It's the lady with the unibrow, I forgot the name of the movie, but she had a unibrow, girl. But the lady was a chain smoker. So Selma had to figure out how to smoke like this lady, but she didn't lose the trait. And girl, Prince hates people who smoke cigarettes. So girl, we got out there, and I said, you didn't know she smoked cigarettes? He was like, good, that's nasty. And I said, oh my God. But then he said, she cussed like a sailor and she smoked like a chimney. He was like, who want to be with her? And I said, you flew up across the world. I said, we could have shot this video on Melrose. I said, you came all the way out here just to find that much avocado. You didn't know that before we left the house.
Oh, he's so silly.
So y'all seem like y'all just had
that man kept me in stitches.
I was gonna say y'all
right.
had an amazing relationship. I was gonna ask you to, in a few words, just what words would you use to describe your relationship that you had with Prince? Because I mean, obviously you all had an amazing connection. It was almost 30 years that you were around him, and probably one of the only people that was around him for so long that he kept in his circle.
Right.
Yeah, between myself, Morris Hayes, and Kirk Johnson was there 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. And other than that, like I said, people came and went. I can't call it nothing short of amazing. And when people ask me, why do I think I was around so long, that it was the God in me and that saw the God in him, and he needed that around him. Right. He needed someone real. He needed someone that
genuine,
touched the neighborhoods, that could tell him what the streets was listening to. He wanted to have that avid ear. And like I said, just an all-around homegirl. He used to tell people, like, that's my homegirl from Compton. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was, as much of a superstar Prince was, he really just wanted to be a regular dude, you know? he wanted to be like, he shut down the mall. I think we were in Chicago one time just so we could walk through the mall and go get a cheese on a stick and a lemonade. Like he just wanted to be regular. And I was like him, I haven't walked in the mall since I was 17. Like he became famous and it was on after that, you know. So anything that reminded him of his home or it reminded him of being regular or just being, you know, he was around me, he could be himself. So he didn't have to be like he would do interviews and people say, well, do people think he weird? And he said, no, people who know me don't think I'm weird. People who know me don't think I'm standoffish or there's no mystery
Michael Jackson status.
Like to know him is to love him. So I knew who he was and I embraced that. I protected that at all costs. I served that man as if he was God himself. You know what I mean? And it was just a beautiful experience. And I just counted all joy, and I wouldn't trade nothing for my journey. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, let's see, and like Toy was saying, in brief words, describe your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes to you and Prince's relationship.
My weakness was him talking crazy. That's what
My
mother always tell me all the time that the man will take it out on the person closest to him. So if the lighting went wrong that day, Chris would let me have it for some dumb reason that night in the hair salon. You know, or if we was at the table, I remember one time he didn't have a fan on his table. He was like, "Where's my fan?" He's like, "Kim, you gonna make somebody mess around and make you lose your job?" I said, "I'm gonna lose my job. My license, I'm sure it says cosmetologist." I said, "But I'm gonna lose my job because it's not a fan on your head." I said, "Let me go out here and find out who's responsible for the fan, because me and him gonna have a talk." And I bet after that night, after me getting cussed out, I have a fan on that table every night.
I know that's
I said, but I mean, I would be responsible. Like one night he came in and was like, "Kim, you got to make sure that I got a fan pointed towards me." He wanted the Beyonce effect every night on stage. I said, "Now what do I have to do with the fan pointing at him on stage?" Well, baby, every night after that, that fan was pointed straight at him. I was gonna find out who was responsible, and I was gonna take them down for it.
Okay, I know that's right. Make sure they got all his props and everything he needed.
That's right, absolutely.
Kim, I have a question real quick.
Go ahead, Anna.
I just wanted to ask you about Prince's family and stuff like that. Do you still keep in touch with them, or how is the relationship?
No, ma'am.
No,
Prince
okay.
didn't keep in contact with his family. Prince told us that we were his family members. The band members and the people that he had closest to him were his family members. You guys didn't even find out that Prince had family until he died.
Okay.
You know, like they didn't even know that Prince, other than Tika, that he had other brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Because he kept it under wraps. He didn't deal with them. He didn't talk to them. We were his family.
Yeah, like I said, anything that we knew about Prince, it was because we speculated on some of the music, or from the movie Purple Rain. So you know that's where we kind of drew from, but he didn't really tell much about his family life at all.
Absolutely not. No.
So you didn't meet them. You didn't.
Oh, I knew
hear about them.
You knew who they were.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And so we dealt with them on occasions.
But now you don't.
Part 2 of the book don't have a lot of that information.
Information in there.
Don't give up too much.
Okay, don't give up too much. Yeah, don't give up too much. So we are coming up on 4 years without Prince now. So
isn't that something?
Yeah, 4 years. It doesn't seem like it's been
What's
that
the
long.
21st, right?
Yeah, the 21st.
Okay. Okay.
So, how has your life changed being without Prince?
Woo.
Good one.
It's crazy because, like I said, my life was a whirlwind. I grew up with that man, and you spend that much time, with somebody. We literally, we grew up together, and so going through hard knocks. And I was with him when his baby died, when his mama died, when his daddy died, when his brother died. I was there, It's just crazy, and that was a love, like, people are like, were you in love with him? No, I wasn't in love with him. I loved him as like I said, unto God, and I took care of him because he was my brother. I had 5 brothers, and he was that 5th brother, you know what I mean? So it was just a beautiful experience, and there's more days, I I try not to, I'm surprised I made it through this interview and haven't cried yet. Because most of the time, anytime I dwell on him too much, I just start boo-hooing,
Right.
But it was just a beautiful, magnificent experience, being around that.
We
man.
got another caller coming in, Kim, but go ahead and continue talking.
It was a beautiful experience being around that man. His soul, his entity is truly missed. It was just a beautiful. It was beautiful. There'll never be another like him. Like I said, he have messed live music up for me for the rest of my life. Because every concert I go to, I'm critiquing. No, I can pick it out now. It was just amazing. So, yeah, man, it's just amazing. I can't wait to just continue to tell the world, the stories of behind the purple curtain.
We got another caller for you that's got a question for you. Let me see who we got on the phone here. Caller.
Hi, this is Daphne. Hey, Toy.
Hi, Daphne. How are you?
I'm good. You knew I was gonna call.
I knew you was because you are a big Prince fan.
I'm an ultimate Prince fan. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
I have a question for you, dear. My question is, I have a couple questions for you. A lot of people, and I'm sure you're one of them, that were very overprotective of Prince and his things. He worked so hard to obtain his masters, and when they stole him back to his own, it broke my heart. I felt for him. It was at the overall consensus. Wasn't that a bad thing? You think that just would have just totally broke his heart to know that everything that he worked for so hard to keep, that somebody just turned it over?
Absolutely. Yeah, that he worked hard, and just when he got everything back into his own property, one thing he was serious about was his intellectual property. He said, nobody came in the studio with me, nobody gets to own my masters. So that was his main objective going all through his music career. He was like, he had to get the masters back, and it took literally 30 years. And once he got it back, and now to see it just squandered off is terrible. Wow. And but what can you do? One thing he said is, "Ain't nobody rock like me, Kim. Ain't nobody did it like me." He said, and I did the damn thing. That's exactly was his exact words. So he knew that he was going out in a blaze of glory. So I hope they enjoy whatever it is that they get. And it is what it is. Like I said, it breaks your heart to know that as hard as he worked for that.
And my next topic is, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but in the news, because following it, Apollonia is beefing with Sheila E. She is calling her out on the carpet. She's saying, hey, he didn't mess with you for these last 5 years. Why are you trying to capitalize on him with this lemon cake thing? You're a fraud. You're a liar. And that's why he stopped messing with you. Is there any truth to that?
Not really, but I don't want to get in between their mess. And but I just want to say that everyone at the time that they were with him has the right to tell their truth.
Right.
And whether it be all truth or not, we don't know, because same thing with Kim Berry and Diamonds and Pearls that is on sale right now on Amazon.
Okay.
You better put that plug in there. So Daphne, you got to get the book, darling.
Yes, everyone has the right to tell their truth. So Apollonia had her time with
Hold on a minute. Hold on a moment, Daphne.
I was saying Apollonia has the moment to tell her truth. Sheila gonna tell her truth.
Right.
Everybody want to say they milkshake brought the boy to the yard. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But who are we to say? Because we weren't there in the room with them.
Right.
I escorted some folks in the room, but I had to leave the room when it got hot and steaming. But I know who was there and who wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So get volume 2 and volume 3.
Okay.
You hear that, Daphne, now?
Coming soon.
So, but everybody has a right to tell their story, and I'm not gonna say who can and who can't.
Right.
Because everybody will tell their truth. One part about it is tell people.
You cutting out a little bit, Kim.
Together and collectively told the story about Prince, so that you guys could get the whole story about who Prince really was. So, now, like I said, I tell people in my book, I'm not discussing concert, record sales, platinum, gold. I have nothing to do with that. I was the hairstylist. I was the creative entity in Prince's life. And so I kept him fly. I kept him, so I can talk all day about his hairstyles, about his clothing. I arranged his jewelry. I put his socks in his shoes. I can tell you what I did for this man.
Right. You did everything.
Yeah.
I have the right to tell my story. So this is my truth. And so that's why I'm asking everyone to, be a part of my story and get the book and learn my truth. But if we all got together and told one collective story, y'all would love Prince. Even in my book, you're going to laugh at some of the stuff Prince did. You're going to be mad at some of the stuff Prince did. You're gonna cry at some of the stuff Prince did. But baby, you're going to enjoy this man behind the purple curtain. That's my hashtag, behind the purple curtain. And so I'm going to tell you the truth and the love and the
well, thanks for calling in, Daphne.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kim. I'm looking forward to buying your book.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
So Kim, I wanted to jump back on the topic of your book. You also discussed in your book about clarity. There's a chapter in there about clarity. Kind of give us an explanation of what you mean clarity.
Clarity, I'm really going over some of the things in the book that some of the rumors, some of the myths, some of the, so we clearing up some stuff that people thought was true that wasn't true. Also, if I might, I'd like to read this letter that I wrote to Prince after he died, and it's inside the book. Okay. And it's called I Weep for You. And it says, I weep for you, for every lie they told on you after all you contributed to the world at large, for every drop of energy you gave on the stage, daily, yearly, never asking for anything in return, but for the crowd to simply enjoy themselves and be present in the moment. For every time we talked about the government mistreating the people of the world, and what could we do in our own communities to make it? For every person you had to pay to be around your genius, your frenemies. For every song you had to write, for every stage you had yet to rock, for simply wanting to be normal, to get an iced coffee or a cheese on a stick in the mall, for never seeing your son Amir grow up. My heart is broken, but I can rejoice through the sorrow, knowing that you are now free. Praise God, you are free. We discussed time travel on in, atoms moving faster than light, transporting us to faraway lands, transcending time and space. Now you've made the ultimate transition. You are now like the creator. You are everywhere. Your music lives on forever. Everyone loved your beauty, your impeccable style and swagger. For every monument around the globe, the day the world turned purple, the images from the four corners of the earth circulating daily remind me of the good times, of every memory from every moment you existed. I smile as the memories play back in my mind that God allowed for me, Joanne's daughter, Sierra's mom, as you called me, this little girl from the hood did good. To tell the story of how we moved across nations, presenting your greatness to the masses in methods like no other had or ever will. So rock on with your bad self, my brother, my friend. Even after the sudden and tragic departure, into the purple rain you strutted, the doves cried and the band played on. Tribute after tribute, like a shooting star streaking across the sky. So glad we had the real thing, baby. See you at the exchange desk, Prince, when we will exchange our cross for our crown.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Oh.
So you had so many memories with him. What is one of your fondest ones?
Girl, it's like choosing your favorite child. It's like, how can you do it? Because every experience was with such an extraordinary creature. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, he was so dope. Like, just one of the, I would say, funniest things to me was he asked me to show him how to make some coffee. And I said, you don't know how to make coffee? He said, I've been famous since I was 17 years old. People make everything for me. He said, I don't have to make coffee for myself. I said, oh, okay. So we go into the kitchen, and I'm putting the beans in the coffee grinder. I put the stuff in the, in the coffee pot, and we're getting it together. And girl, we get it done. He was like, that's it. And I said, yeah, it's sometimes it's just as simple as the nose on your face. okay, so but I'm gonna show you one thing you probably didn't know. So he went to the freezer, got him some vanilla ice cream, girl, pumped a big pump of vanilla ice cream on top of his coffee. So I bet you don't know nothing about this. Baby, when I tell you that was the best coffee that we ever had, like teaching just sipping our coffee with the milk mustaches.
Yep.
Laughing and joking with each other.
It's my favorite
like,
kind.
He was just a real down to earth dude like that. It's little moments like that, like I said, that people don't know nothing about. But behind the curtain moments, you know what I'm saying? That those are the stories that you'll hear in the book, where you'll be able to laugh and see how funny he was and just how genuine and real he was, you know. And it was just dope, like that. And the Super Bowl, you know, experience, that's another one of my fond memories. Girl, we had curled that hair, it was so bomb, and just laid, every hair was just Super Bowl, girl, Kim, you got clown in this hair.
Right.
It rained.
I said, absolutely, girl, this is live.
It rained, honey. Purple rain for real.
God. So he said, Kim, give me a do-rag. And I said, no, like, you gonna mess up my hair. So I started taking his car and sticking them in the couch so he couldn't find them. So he's like, Kim, go to the van and get my scar. So by this time, they done came and put him on a golf cart and flew him over to the stage. So now I'm running. We trying to get to the stage. Girl, we come up out that elevator, girl. He got the do-rag on his head. I said, damn it.
Where'd he find it at? Where'd he get it from, Kim?
Girl, he always had it. He probably was in his bag. I said, he gonna come off my hair for the Super Bowl. Oh, girl, baby, when he did that, everybody kept saying, how did he perform? And he never got hurt. It was pouring down raining. He never got wet. It was like, I said, baby, that's aqua boogie. Who else know how to dance and not get wet? Girl, and it seemed like when purple rain started, it just poured even more.
Wow.
I was like, I said, God, you hooking a brother up. It's his season. When he got through, he took that do-rag
And threw it.
Just right there, baby. And that hair was still together, girl. I said, yeah, that's some good hairspray, girl. That's that good hairspray. Girl, yeah. So when he came on stage, he said, what happened? How I look? How I do? I said, boy, you know you was bomb. Stop playing with me. He just started laughing. I was just like, that man was just impeccable. And he was giving all at all times.
All the time. Well, we are going to take another break, and then we will be back with you.
Cool.
We just wanted to say thank you so much to the people that are advertising with us. The Twisted Poet. Wait.
Ooh, ghetto sauce.
Oh, yes, that's right. The ghetto sauce.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Sean Biz,
Leadership
consultant. Yes, the Twisted Poet. We just said him.
And who else do we have?
Black Beauty 615. Thank you for advertising with us. Okay. Shout out to Black Beauty 615. Everybody go follow her. We got the ghetto sauce again.
Okay. And we have a few more advertisers.
Yes.
That we wanted to mention.
We do. We have Strut by Toy, our very own Love and Hips host. We have Beautifully Bold, our other hips. That's our hips. We have TLC, Total Life Changes from St. Louis. And then we have L. Brooks Agency in Atlanta. So thank you so much to everybody that's advertising with us. And if you want to advertise, you guys can reach out to us, and we will let you know how to do that on the show.
Thank you.
So we are back.
Welcome back, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim. Look, I gave you a nickname already. Hey, Kimmy.
She was calling you
can't
Kimmy
hear.
before the show started.
Where's your audio?
We can't hear you, Kim.
Uh-oh, Kimmy, we done lost.
There we go.
I can't hear you.
Cut the volume up.
We can't hear you.
Nope.
You can't hear me? Oh, let me see how this
Okay,
goes.
now you are. Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay.
We're
Oh,
back.
That's better.
We are back.
Okay.
So you were before the break, you were just talking about Prince and and how great of a person he was, and talking about the Super Bowl and whatnot, and it just made me think about some things that people don't know about Prince. He was quite the philanthropist, and he did a lot of work in the community that people don't know about. You want to talk to us some about things that he did that people probably don't know?
Yeah, Prince was one of the first founding contributors to Black Lives Matter. He gave, I believe, almost close to $5 million
Wow.
towards the cause. And I knew the moment that he spoke Black Lives Matter at the American Music Awards was pretty much going to be the beginning of the end. Because it's just some things you just don't say. You keep, Prince moved in silence. He did a lot of things, like we would pull up in certain cities and there would be entire homeless communities. He would hand us stacks of $100 bills, and we would get off the bus, me and the bodyguard, and hand $100 bills all the way up and down the street to all the homeless people up and down the street. Everything he did was, he said, unto God, because it was never about him. He knew that he was blessed. He knew that he had to give back to the people, that he was a vessel sent by God to bless the people with music. He said that he was directly downloaded from God, and that he was to give the music to the world, that he knew that that was why he was sent here. That was his purpose. He told me all the time. I was like, we were on the plane and he was writing a song. We were on our way to Hawaii going on vacation. And I said, he's writing songs, scribbling, tearing it up. I'm picking all this trash up, you can't leave nothing behind. And he said, I said, do you ever just take a break? You just gonna chill and we just gonna not do nothing? And I said, we're going on vacation, right? He said, no. He said, you can never stop the music. As soon as one song is downloaded into his head, he has to put it out. And he said, in the moment, he knows that when the music stops, that he will cease to exist. Like, that's how dope he is. And he literally went into the grave doing music. You know what I mean? Like, he was just so amazing. Coding, anything that had to, there was my church, he gave $10,000 to buy computers for the kids to make sure that they can do their homework and life study skills and all that kind of stuff. The Black Kids Coding organization, I really hate, because he was giving to so many people that they don't continue to give to those same organizations and to continue blessing, because that's what the Love for One Another Foundation was created for, was to give back to people, because he knew that it was never about him. It was always about God. So he moved in silence. He did everything, because he would do things for people, and he would tell people, don't tell anybody. Don't tell nobody I did it. Don't, you know what I mean? And so you didn't find out about a lot of things until he was dead and gone. And they were like, oh yeah, Prince gave to us, and Prince did this. I had a friend at the time, and her son passed away tragically, just literally passed away. And I told Prince, I said, look, I said, this family, we need your help. I said, we need to bury this young man. I said, he just literally, passed away. We need your help. Wow. He said, write down everything that you need. He paid for the funeral, lock, stock, and barrel. Didn't ask no questions, took care of it. And I said, that's the kind of man that nobody knew about. You know what I mean? Like, that dude was so dope.
It's okay. It's okay.
Almost made it.
It's okay.
You almost made it without crying.
You did good.
You're gonna make us cry, Kim.
Just take your time.
Yeah, that dude was so dope, man. Like, it's gonna be music and stories for years to come. Just like I said, when this whole Apollonia and Sheila E. Beef, it's like, it's gonna be stories y'all gonna hear for your children's children. Are gonna hear stories about Prince. It'll never end. All the people who work for him, and just from the greatest band members to the trash can carriers, he treated everybody with the utmost respect. He gave you a hard time. Don't play. He gave you a hard time.
Don't get it twisted, huh?
but there was no other experience like it. And everybody knew how to do their jobs and move in their capacity to get him to the stage. The main thing was get that man to the stage. And I just love that dude. It ain't much else I can say, but I just love that dude. I'm gonna miss him forever and ever. I bless God for allowing me to walk next to that man and be a part of his journey for 20 plus years.
And obviously it was reciprocated. You were a blessing to him as well.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what have you been working on recently? I know about the book. You know, you've been working on the book. But are you working with other celebrities now?
Absolutely. Yeah. Cat Williams is one of my clients.
Yeah, I was just reading
Wendy
about
Raquel
that.
Robinson, Loretta Devine. You know, I've done work with Tia Mowry. You know, I'm just staying in the industry. If anybody, all kind of photo shoots and wherever somebody needs me, I tell people, you know, Kim Berry don't turn down nothing but a collar. You feel me? I stay grinding. I assist people. Even 30 years in the game, I still go and assist people. I have no problem. People are like, oh, you Kim Berry, you work for Chris. You don't need to be assistant. Yeah, absolutely. Because you never know. I'm about networking. You never know who could be, what blessing will be on the
So
other
you're
side
carrying
of the
his
door.
legend,
So I
basically.
might walk in as an assistant, but that person on the other side of the door might need a key hairstylist for the next week.
Right.
So just sometimes you got to be willing to serve, because the greatest of them was the servant. And
That's
that
right.
was Jesus Christ himself. You understand me? So I have no problem with being a part of the team. I am a overall team member. I get in where I fit in, and I grind as hard as the person on the stage, as well as, you know, the trash man. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was one beautiful thing that I loved. You know, people always saw the man on top of the stage and on top of that symbol, but what y'all didn't know was underneath that symbol, girl, was worker bees. Underneath that stage was a whole city of people, girl, making that man shine. I'm talking guitar techs, hairstylists, makeup artists, wardrobe. Everybody worked for the good of that man. When you see him come up off that stage with a new outfit on, so I remember one time I walked in the dressing room of like 1 minute too early, girl, and got a wet shirt back all around my face. I was like, what? I was like sweating. It was nasty. I said, but baby, like the moments just alone was what I wouldn't trade my journey for nothing in the world. He's like, next time you don't knock before you come in. Most of the time he would be singing into the mic, so I knew when he was singing, he was back on stage. Well, this the time he was still in the room changing his clothes, and when I walked in, girl, I just got a pink shirt wrapped around my forehead.
It's so silly. You sound like you had a lot of fun.
I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, it's important to love what you do,
Yes.
and it just, I can see it. It resonates. You know.
Yeah.
Just
I tell
talking
people
to
all the
you
time,
today.
I say, when you love what you do, you'll never work another day
That's
in your life,
right.
you know? and I don't care what I do, it from the hardest gig to the easiest gig. It don't matter who I'm working for, because I love being creative. I love just being a positive entity, a positive, you know, instrument around the people that I'm working with and for. And I just try to be a light, and, you know, to everybody that I come in contact with. And it's just beautiful. This entertainment industry allows you to be creative, so you can do what you want, and you can be what you want. You just gotta constantly, you know, even hairstylists, we gotta constantly regroup and recreate ourselves. That's what I'm doing right now, revamping my website, getting ready for phase 2 of what Kim is about to do. So hairstylist union is what I'm working on, so that I can get in there with Tyler Perry and get in that camp. And, you know, I'm ready to grind my heels into some movies. And so I've done the touring thing. So, you know, and when you work on movie sets, it allows you to stay around, you know, stay still a little bit longer. You still top of the world, but you're still in one place for like 30 days at a time or whatever. So that's now what I'm looking forward to, is getting into that hairstylist union and contributing what it is that I have to the world. So I'm excited about it.
One of the viewers has a question for you. Sean Poole. He says,
Sean Poole, that's the girl.
His name is Sean Poole. It says, were you
I went
present?
to high school with him.
Oh, well, he done
Okay.
found you. Okay. Sean, Kim
One of the
hey,
stalkers.
Sean. But he wants to know, he said, were you present at Paisley Park when he gave concerts for the neighbors?
Oh, all the time. Absolutely. That's the behind the scenes, the after shows. those were the best parties. So when he did concerts, that everything was structured. It had to be on a time limit. It had to be whatever. But the parties that he did for the neighbors and the parties that he did in Paisley Park for the fans, I would just show up and girl, he would rock out all night for them people.
All night long, I heard.
He would stay there on that stage. I'm standing there. I remember, girl, I learned how to sleep standing up. Girl. I should tell my home, I was like, stay right there, don't you move. Girl, I lock my knees, girl, be up against that wall. I remember one time we was in his house and he was giving a concert in his house. Now those was the best part.
Okay.
He was giving a show, girl. Anthony Hamilton is in front of me. Anthony is like, should I sing for him? Should I sing for him? Yeah, girl, Matthew McConaughey on the bongos, beating his hands started bleeding. He just beat the bongos, girl. This girl,
Oh, wow.
You would see at Prince's house, girl. It was the after parties were the best parties ever. But I'm falling asleep, girl. But I'm standing up, girl, eyes closed, standing up with my head just tilted. Guess what, Prince said? Kim, clap your hands. Girl, I woke up on feet like, he tell us all the time. He said, "You think the president's bodyguards sleep? Girl, the bodyguards couldn't go to sleep. We couldn't go to sleep in his face." Girl, so whenever I wasn't doing his hair, girl, I run and hide in the office because girl, I had to go take me a nap because they had us on point 24/7. Will you hear me? I have to go take a nap. I ain't playing with you.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
Well, Kim, if you don't mind, you know, I want to kind of talk about where were you at when you first heard about Prince's death?
Woo, that was crazy. I was actually driving down the street in LA, and a friend of mine called John, hairstylist from Colorado, and he was like, "Kim, you seen TMZ?" I said, "No. Why should I see TMZ?" He said, "What you doing right now?" I said, "I'm driving down the street." He said, "Oh." He said, "You need to pull over." And I said, "Pull over?" He was like, "Kim, you need to pull over." I was like, "Quit playing with me. What's going on?" He like, "Kim, you need to pull over." And so I pulled the car over, and he said, "You need to pull up TMZ." I said, "What I'm pulling up TMZ for? That's a gossip magazine. They, you know, that stuff happening on there ain't true all the time." He's like, "Kim, you need to pull up TMZ." So I saw fatality at Paisley Park. I said, "So what? It probably was some broad that was with him." I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Oh
He said,
my God.
Like, Kim, he said, "No." So as I'm talking to him, my boy Rodney calls from CBS Studio, and he said, "Kim," he said, "I need you to know what's going on. We're going live in 5 minutes." And I said, "You need me to know what?" I said, "I saw the TMZ." I said, "But that don't mean it's him." He said, "Kim," he said, "the coroner van just pulled off and Chris is in the back of the van." And I said, "What?" And girl, I lost it.
Oh my God.
I just started screaming and hollering, and I was stuck, girl, for at least 4 hours, girl, in that same spot, stuck, screaming and hollering. Every time I tried to get myself together, like it was surreal. Like I was like, that did not just happen. I just talked to that man. That did not just happen. But when I tell you that this man's soul was right with God and that he knew that he had done what he was supposed to do, that he had served the world with all of his greatness, that he was right with God, that he was good. That dude, that's the only part that gives me solace and gives me peace because I know that he was good. He had God and his relationship with Christ was strong. You know what I mean? He knew the word for himself. That part gives me peace, just in and of itself. Out of all the dirt that was done to him, out of all the wrong that was done towards him, that I know that they got to meet God when it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if nothing on earth ever meet them, they got to meet God when it's over with. Right. So whoever had hands in it, whoever took a part of it, to God be the glory. You know what I'm saying? And God, Prince was God's vessel, and he knew that, and so did the world. That's why they loved him so much.
Right.
And it was a beautiful thing. I called a friend of mine, Gina Rivera, who was on Undercover Boss. She owns all the Phoenix Salon and Suites that you guys see around the world. I teach hair color classes for her, and I called her and I said, "Gina, I got to get to Paisley Park." And without hesitation, girl, my flight was booked, and me and my daughter was on a flight to Paisley Park within hours of that. And but by the time I had already got to Paisley, he had already been cremated. So I was like, something about this story ain't adding up, y'all, but God got it. That's all I kept saying. God got it. So I just knew wasn't nobody gonna touch his hair but me. I was the finisher. I was gonna be the end. You know, I was the creator, and I was gonna be the finisher of that hairdo. So I was gonna make sure, even if it was the fro, it was gonna be right. And so, but yeah, by the time I got there, he had already been cremated. They was like, it's too late. You know, it's too late. And I said, wow, we didn't even get to sit with him. His family members, the real ones that rock with him, we didn't get to say goodbye.
Oh wow.
That was very interesting. That was very interesting. Wow. But like I said, to God be the glory. Gotta get the glory out of that story. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yes. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Kim. I have another question from the audience. So Lisa Brooks said, I listened to an Alan Leeds interview, and he said he got a call that Prince wanted to shoot the Alphabet Street video on a Sunday in a blizzard. Were you present for that shoot? If so, how did you handle that for styling?
No, ma'am. That wasn't my era. I came in right after Diamonds and Pearls. So Alphabet Street, no, that was before, right? Diamonds and Pearls. I can't keep up with them albums, girl. I'm telling you, all of it. That stuff run together, girl. I'm telling you, like, my friend was like, oh, you were there for Crimson and Clovers, and I was like, no, I wasn't. Then I heard the song, and I was like, oh, yeah, I shot that video. That was you. Okay.
Our producers laughing.
A video montage that Stevie
There's a
Wonder
lot
had
going
gave
on.
him a Artist of the Year award, and I saw all these flashes of the videos going by. I'm like, that's my work, that's my work, that's my work. Like, I didn't even realize, like, we were
There's just so much going on.
Pumping, grinding, moving. Like, he would call and be like, "Get me a tiger. I want to shoot a video," and the tiger had to be there by in the morning. But we had to pull a tiger out the zoo. Like, for the
wow.
Like, Prince did not play. Like,
he just didn't stop either. He seemed like a robot. It's like
as soon as he finished one project, before it was the cap was on the video good. He was planning something else.
Look, my
He
favorite.
was coming home on the plane from one tour. The next tour was really good.
Look,
Like,
one of my favorite movies, Kim, is Love Jones. But in the movie Love Jones, Louise Tate makes a comment that he was like, look, if I come over here, he said, if you don't, just let me take you out on a date. He said, because I'm going to start bringing Prince CDs over here. He said, you know how that brother likes to pop out a CD like every week. He said, I'll be over here every minute, you know. And it was just so much truth to that. I remember that line that he had said in that movie. So, and I'm like, that work ethic was just like that. I mean, he just never stopped. So does he have an archive of music that just wasn't even released?
Absolutely. So you guys are going to hear music for years to come. When you hear about the vault, girl, the vault was real. And so music, you know, there are people that have music that belongs to Prince that maybe sometime we'll never hear, you know. But there's going to be some stuff that'll come out. I hate that. I wish they would just release it the way he left it and just let you hear it the way he left it instead of trying to refine it. You don't know what beat he wanted. You don't know what track he wanted. You don't want him he didn't collaborate with nobody. I used to ask him all the time, oh, won't you ever gonna let any of the younger artists do a remix on you? He said, remix? How you gonna remix perfection?
Okay. I love it.
I be like, well, go ahead, Kevin. I was like, all right, but yeah, I mean, he just knew it. So when people would ask him all the time, well, what music do you listen to? He said, if I want to hear new music, I create. Like, if I want to hear good music, I create it. Like, there's nothing nobody can do for me. But he told a tale because he was always listening to Peabo Bryson.
He listened to other people's music.
Let me tell you, that was the best concerts. Before the show started, girl, he would be in the dressing room running to Peabo Bryson and Jeffrey Osborne, girl.
All right. Yeah, he
Something
did.
Like you told me, stayed in my head, baby. Prince would rip that song up, girl. The concert was just me and him in the hall. Baby, that boy could blow. Take it from Mariah Carey, Highest Note to Barry White, girl. That boy was a beast with them vocal cords. And I'm telling you, I have seen the most amazing thing. That boy was so dope. He was so dope.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was too much that he couldn't play on that guitar. He could probably do. He could do anybody's music on that guitar.
He could play every instrument. Yeah. And girl, I call it the wah-wah face, girl. When he would be you know, the moment, girl, and it would be him and that girl. That would be him and God, girl. He was talking that guitar would be his prayers back to heaven. Like that boy and that music, girl, that was something serious with that guitar. That boy did not play. He was a beast. to be dealt with, you know. And when he won the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and got on there and clowned everybody on the stage and then just walked off, because some of those were supposed to be the greatest guitar players in the world, and he clowned them all.
So real quick, before we, because it's almost time for us to close. Okay.
Oh.
But what do you have a favorite Prince song?
Oh yeah, Billy Jack Bitch, girl. I liked everything when Prince cussed. I used to like everything. And he would come on the side, girl, he'd come on the side of the stage. He'd be like, Kim, what you want me to play? I'd be like, Billy Jack Bitch, I can't play that no more. I was like, sexy motherfucker. No, I can't play that no more. I was like, International Lover. He like, no, I can't sing that no more. Ask me what you want to hear, because I'm the good old hits.
Right.
I like, you know, I like everything. I like when Prince used to cuss, girl. Yep. I said,
You
so
like
when
that
he got
ghetto
cleaned up,
side.
he made him put $1 in the swear jar, girl. I was mad at him. He's like, can't put some money in that jar.
Y'all had a great relationship. You seem like you cut up with him all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
You were like his
it was
best
so
friend.
real.
She definitely was his
Definitely
best
his
friend.
best
I believe that.
Aw.
Well, Kim, what is it that, before we leave, what is it that you want to tell the people, you know, about you, about the book, or where can they find it? Go get the book, or anything you want them
how
to
we
know.
can follow, how they can follow you.
Yeah.
Yes, on my social medias, of course, Facebook is Kim Berry. You can look it up. On Instagram, I am Kim Berry on set. KimBerryOnSet. Kim Berry on set on Instagram. Same thing on Twitter and on those are my handles: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So yeah, the website is www, which will be up and running tomorrow. www.diamonds, the letter N. PURLZ.com, Diamonds and Curls. So you can either find the book there on Diamonds and Curls, or you can go to Amazon. It is on sale on Amazon. And what else? You can hit me up in my inbox, and I'll send you an autographed copy. You know, and we can make that arrangement through that. So yeah, that can be done as well. So yeah, so. You know, I'm just a young girl out here, little girl.
Well, you did that, honey.
Yes.
You
look
done it,
great.
and you did it well. And they, whoever you working with now, I'm sure they are blessed to have you as their stylist as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm also at RVM Salon on Wilshire and La Brea in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, now you hook up some of us ordinary folk, don't
Absolutely, girl. I call my everyday girl. Those are my bread and butter girls. So I hooking them up. So I can't wait till this quarantine is over so I can get back to some good pressing and curling. So,
I know that's right.
I'm excited about that.
I know it. We missing the hairstylist right now, honey.
Yes.
And we missing y'all too, girl. We because you know your clients become your family. You know y'all share everything.
They
do.
So, yeah, so you miss them too. So I can't wait to see everybody.
I miss all the gossip and the tea time.
We have another
ma'am.
caller. Hey, caller.
Hey, ladies, this is Charlie.
Oh, hey, Charlie.
How you ladies doing?
Good.
How are you?
Kim, Barry, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great, wonderful show. I just wanted to announce to everyone about our next guest on our show.
Okay.
Hey, who we got?
And that remains to be seen. We will make the announcement in a couple days.
All right.
Got a
So
surprise
stay tuned.
guest.
Surprise.
Follow our page. And also, I just want to leave you with this. Sometimes it snows.
In April.
Amen.
Charlie out.
Oh.
Charlie out.
Sometimes it snows in April.
I just watched a live of that, and it had me in tears. I watched it earlier today.
Yeah, he always used to go back home too because he loved that it snowed. And so I hated it. I had to have two different wardrobes, one for inside his house and one for outside his house.
Right.
His house was 100 degrees at all times. Freezing 15 degrees outside.
Wow.
Sometimes it snowed in April, so that song was true.
Oh, wow.
Well, it has been a blessing having you on with us
honor.
today.
Thank
oh my
you.
God!
Thank you
And
so
we can't
much.
wait to meet you when we get out of this quarantine life and people can travel again and you can come to the ATL.
And you guys look forward to your books because I'm sending
Yes,
your books.
we are so
Yes.
excited. Thank you so much.
Look, I done already autographed your copy.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So they'll be in the mail tomorrow. So I'll put them in the mail tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim.
Mwah.
Thank you. Stay safe. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
Love you,
Stay
bye.
well.
All right,
Stay blessed.
Peace.
Wow, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Oh, that was amazing
Well,
interview. So
That was so good.
Oh,
gosh.
she was amazing. She was really amazing.
that was an interview for 2020.
It was.
We came
It
back
was.
strong from quarantine, you guys.
Yes, we
We
did.
did. We came back strong. It's been a great show.
Yes.
Thanks for everybody that have watched today.
Yes.
And all y'all Prince fans out there. We're coming up in a couple of days on the anniversary of his death. So, we always got the music. So,
Thank you for watching and calling in.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Wear your purple on the 21st.
That's right. Bring your purple out.
Put your pictures on social media or tag us on our page.
That's right. And you guys stay tuned for our next surprise guest for our next show.
I wonder who it is.
I do too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love
Stay
you,
safe.
Animalistic for attraction. What else could it be? Said your vision isn't hazy. Then who do you see?